again with another video. How are you guys been today? I've been busy. And so I'm gonna be posting videos this week. I'm trying to get all these videos done tonight because your girl, I need to be more consistent with my YouTubing. But anyway, my name is Kiki. You're probably thinking, who the hell are you and why should I watch your videos? Well, hi, I'm Kiki. This is going to be a Jehovah's Witness video, so if you're not a former Jehovah's Witness, you can watch, you can stay. I'll try to explain as much as I can, but my name is Kiki. I am a former Jehovah's Witness. My channel, I talk about Jehovah's Witness topics. I have traveled, so I have vlogs on here. I talk about current events, hot topics, entertainment, news, relationships, just whatever I feel like. I've been told I need to have more focus and direction for my channel, but I feel like, hey, I'm not trying to get paid through YouTube, so I'm just talking about whatever I feel like it, and I don't, I know it's not good for the YouTube algorithm, but I'm gonna do me, and I'm gonna talk about what I feel like talking about at any particular time, because I hate talking about one topic and one thing only, right? That's boring. I am not a Jehovah's Witness activist. I'm just a former Jehovah's Witness, and I give my opinions on certain things that I may hear, see, read, or get a whiff of. There are videos on here. I have 3 parts to my story. I was not born a witness. I did not have him. I actually came into the witnesses as a 13-year-old, and I was in the organization. I left the organization and went back in my 20s, and it got baptized, and then left the organization in my 20s. So that's just a small rundown about me, who I am. I'm a mother. I am a award-winning digital artist. I've been featured in Wall Street Journal. I've been on their podcast. I've been on the cover of a magazine. I have a magazine over there, has my face on it. Yeah. And what else? Let's see, artist, mom. Oh yeah, I run 3. I'm a worker, a normal worker bee. I have a normal, regular 9-to-5 job. But then I also have 3 Etsy shops that I run. I have 3 very successful Etsy shops. They haven't been open for very long. But and then also I was featured in BuzzFeed on October the 6th. I was featured in BuzzFeed online. My store was featured. My Etsy store, Falling Star Naturals, was featured there. So more to come. I'm expanding my business. I'm trying. I'm doing me. So this video, like I said, we're going to talk about Jehovah's Witnesses. So stay tuned. Like, share, subscribe, comment below. The more you like and the more you interact with me, I try to say something to you guys, comments or heart it or do something. Try to interact with you guys. I try as much as I can. So if you share it, I really appreciate it. I really would. And yeah, what am I gonna say? I try to say things in not a mean, malicious, spirited way. It's really kind of tongue-in-cheek. But anyway, Jehovah's Witnesses have a website called JW.org. On this website, I'm getting casual, y'all just give me a minute. On this said website, Jehovah's Witnesses, every month they have a broadcast from the governing body. The governing body are a group of men, there's 8 of them, that actually run the organization. So on this broadcast, they just talk about like biblical topics, hot topics, what's going on in the organization, warnings. They went in on about former witnesses and apostates, I guess like me, apostates that people shouldn't be listening to, and whatever. But yeah. So yeah, I don't watch all the broadcasts because I'm just gonna keep it real with y'all. I'm just gonna keep it real. Them broadcasts be boring. They be boring. They be dry. I be like this. I can't listen to a lot of religiosity. I can't listen to all that religious spiel without me getting annoyed and incensed. So I just listen to bits and pieces. There are former Jehovah's Witnesses like JW Thoughts and Jackson and Evan Lloyd. And there's another one. Her name is I forgot. I'll try to link some of these channels that I watch, but they break down, especially Roy Evans, break down the Jehovah's Witness broadcasting. So I kind of go off of that, and then I'll go in there and try to watch it a little bit. So last month they had one, and part of it was they had like Anthony Morris, I think Stephen Lett, either one of them or both of them were talking about money. They talked about it in the annual convention that the Jehovah's Witnesses had. They had it virtually online, and they were talking about, they had a talk, local needs talk about, we need to give to Jehovah with all of our heart and soul. We're not begging for money, but we're asking you to give. That's my Stephen Lett impersonation. Did y'all like that? Y'all like that? I tried. Okay? Don't hate. Don't fault me. I tried. I'm sorry. I know it's terrible. I won't do it again. Anyway, so they talked about the money and situation. They weren't begging for money or anything like that. Now, but they did bring it up. They brought it up twice now, which is odd. Now, when I was a witness, back a long time ago, back in the olden days, back in the 90s and in the early 2000s, one of the things that attracted me to the witness is that, unlike other churches, I grew up in the evangelical churches where they passed around the collection plate, amen, 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 and then the preacher would get up there and be like, you need to give to the Lord, amen. You need to give your money, you need to tithe, which if you don't, tithing means you have to give a certain percentage to the church every month. They call it tithing, right? Okay, so they're like, you need to give to the Lord, and the Lord requires us to tithe, and I didn't like that. Even as a kid, I thought it was kind of odd. I was like, I asked my grandmother, like, why are they passing around a salad plate? Because it looked like a salad plate in my church. And then people put money in it, and as a little kid, I would try to grab the money out. I was like, ooh, money. And then my grandmother would be like, no, you're supposed to give. You're not supposed to take the money. And I was like, they passing it around, they got money. I'm thinking like, shoot, I'm gonna give me some candy money up in here. But no, you had to give money. And I thought that distasteful. So the Jehovah's Witnesses told me, like, when I started studying with them, like, we don't pass around the collection plate. We don't have anyone telling you need to give 10%. We don't have preachers up there talking about you're going to go to hell if you don't get no money. You're going to go to hell if you don't get no money to the Lord. None of that. So I thought that was very appealing. And a lot of the witnesses and videos, they've all brought up that, back in the day, we never heard that in a convention about no money. I think sometimes every once in a while we hear like in a local needs talk, maybe the congregation, the elders would bring up something, maybe every once a year, maybe. I don't know. But I understand that Jehovah's Witnesses now, these days, are facing a lot of lawsuits where they're settling in the court, out of court, all over the world. Also, they're building a huge media center in Rampino, New York. A media center, like a multi-million-dollar media center where they're going to be producing like movies, TV shows, I don't know what. It's extensive. I saw the video about the media center. I was like, wow. And it's supposed to be finished in 2026, I believe. And which is kind of weird because Stephen Lett, during the annual convention in the summer, he was talking about we're in the last of 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 the final last of the last days. But somehow we not that much in the last days where y'all building a multimedia media center that won't be finished until 5 years. So apparently Armageddon is at least going to be waiting at least another 5-10 years or so. Because why would you build a media center if Armageddon hits and it gets destroyed? Then people spend all that time and that money building. And for those who are not Jehovah's Witnesses, they don't hire construction people. No, they get the members from all over the place to come and help build their churches, their offices, this media center. It's strictly volunteers, right? So they in essence have free labor. Like from the people serving the meals to the people cleaning up to the people who actually have construction experience, the planners, the builders, all of this is done by witnesses. And it's a thing to behold because you're getting so many people all together to do this thing, and it's impressive. I have to admit it's impressive. But like I was saying, the organization Watchtower need their money, so yeah. So I get it. There are other churches out there asking for money. They're not the only ones. They're during this whole entire pandemic. These church rosters and their numbers have dipped because people couldn't go to the churches because of the pandemic. And so all these preachers got into a panic, and don't even get me started on how they got into a panic, because these preachers have been spreading misinformation and disinformation in order to get you find people in their churches. Yeah. So they've been telling people all kinds of things to get people to come back to church. Why? Because these churches need money. She's got bills to pay. They got electricity, bills to pay. And besides all that, these pastors need their money. Most of these pastors not working. They ain't got no real jobs. You're their job. I keep telling you, you're their job. And they wonder why people are leaving the church. There's a lot of abuse in the churches. There's a lot of stealing in the churches, a lot of hypocrisy in the churches, and people wondering why people are doing their own thing and leaving organized religion behind. People are. So, but Watchtower are not the only ones asking for money. There was a pastor in Louisiana, like a month ago, I saw online where he was telling people that the reason why Christ hasn't returned, because they believe in the second coming of Christ, that Christ hasn't returned because, you guys are not paying. You guys ain't give enough. So Christ ain't coming. Christ just said, forget you, we out. Deuces. Christ said, bye. Deuces. I mean, what? So Christ is not coming because the people of the church are not giving enough money. But this same preacher probably has a nice car and a nice house, probably a private jet. He's connected to Kenneth Copeland, I believe. Yeah, they're making some money. I keep telling people I'm in the wrong business. I should have been in the church hustle game because I got a good mouthpiece. So I could have been like, yes, indeed, the Lord is telling you need to dedicate your buckety bucks. Amen, amen, amen. Oh, Jesus has told me today, brothers and sisters, that you need to give to the Lord. Amen. See, I could have been up there. I could have been pastor, sister, evangelical, bishop, queen, Kiki. See, I could have had it in me, but I'm not out here trying to scam people. I would have felt bad. But church is a hustle. I keep telling people that church is a hustle. Religion is okay. Church can be a hustle. And so, the Watchtower with Anthony Morris and Stephen Lett up there talking about money, and then they normally don't talk about money. They're telling people you should give all your heart and your soul to Jehovah, and that then they gave biblical examples of people going to the tabernacle or whatever, and none of them came empty-handed. Yeah, they didn't come empty-handed. Oh. I'm like, really? So in other words, you saying you better have some money. Yeah. But the thing about it is that Jehovah's Witnesses are worldwide. There are people in other countries who are Jehovah's Witnesses, like in Africa and Asian nations, that the people are in poverty. They're living not even paycheck to paycheck. They're living day to day. They don't even know where their next meal gonna come from. So really, it's the westernized nations that are having to carry the entire organization. And that's how it's been since the organization started. It started in America. Most of the money is coming from the UK and America and Europe. So what they want people here, even kids giving their milk money and kids giving their candy money and their lunch money, should be giving it to Watchtower. People need to be making budgets and giving their money to Watchtower, because Watchtower needs money to build a media center and to pay off child abuse survivors. So yeah, you do that, and plus their day-to-day operation. But they've been selling Kingdom Halls. Yeah, if y'all didn't know that, Watchtower's been selling Kingdom Halls. During the pandemic, people are not meeting in person, they're on Zoom meetings. And from what I hear, some of them are going off and doing their own Zoom meetings. So, Watchtower, and I'm not trying to knock the hustle, because they have to keep the lights on. They have to pay everything, and I'm not knocking that, because a church don't run itself for free. I ain't even mad at that. What I'm mad is that the problem that I have with it is not the fact that they're asking for money. I don't have an issue with that. The problem, my issue, is that the Watchtower is letting their people stay in a poverty trap. It's keeping them in a poverty trap with the culture of the witnesses that has nothing to do with any kind of biblical scriptures or anything like that. It's just the culture of the witnesses. What do I mean? Okay. Witnesses don't believe that higher education is necessary, that people should be devoting their time and effort to higher education. It's not something that they're going to kick you out of the religion for. You're not going to get disfellowshipped for it. But it is frowned on. There are a lot of things in the witness organization that is very cultural, that is just frowned on. You won't get disfellowship, you won't get a talking to, but then people find out and they're just kind of like, ooh, well, are you going to college after high school? Ooh, what? You ain't gonna have no time to witness, girl. You ain't gonna have time to do nothing, girl. You gotta put Jehovah first, girl. Ooh. It's something that you may get flack from family members or elders or something like that. And then, a long time ago, it was hard to really go to college and then be a pioneer. Go to college. Pioneer means you're out knocking door to door and preaching the word, which they don't do that because of COVID. So they don't really do that. Now they're doing like phone and letter writing and stuff like that. But technology has changed how college is done. You don't have to physically be in a college room anymore. So I still didn't understand why the witnesses were still on this mantra about not having higher education when you can do online classes, you can do remote classes. They even had that stuff back when I was in the 90s. They've had remote classes since the 90s. They had correspondence classes back in the day. So it really didn't take a lot of time out of your preaching work, especially if you were single and didn't have any kids or anything. College wasn't really a viable option, and some witness parents pushed their kids to go to college despite how they were snickered and looked at in the organization, because they understood the value of the education. I think part of the reason why the witnesses don't want their kids to get an education, because it enhances critical thinking skills. You learn about science and history, and a lot of that science and history you're learning in college and in high school clashes with what the Watchtower Bible Tract Society is teaching in their books about biology and creationism and all that kind of stuff. So I think that yes, higher education, it does take time, but it doesn't have to. You can go to school part-time, you can go to school online, but then it's the pesky critical thinking skills thing that they kind of like, eh. And then they don't want you hanging around worldly people, which again, if you're doing online classes and stuff like that, it's a non-issue. So you don't have to worry about worldly people or non-witnesses, as for those of you who don't know, non-witnesses. So you don't have to really worry about that. But I think it's the critical thinking skills thing. I think it's just the fact that you have professors teaching you things and stuff like that, and they really don't want that. So, but the issue with this is another issue. So you have the Watchtower Bible Tract Society telling you need to be missionary work. You need to go to Bethel, or you need to just get some menial essential worker job and just concentrate on a preaching work, or maybe go to Rampano and go out there with your little construction hat on and do that, because we don't want you to go to college. It should be Jehovah, but we want you to give money. But how are you going to do that if you don't have a good job? Even some of the baseline jobs now are requiring people to have some sort of technical training or higher education. So it's like, we need money, but you're not making it. How are you going to make money to give the organization if you don't have a college education? I'm not saying there's not jobs out there for you to make money. Yes, there are. But the way things are today in our society, it wasn't like it was 40, 50 years ago, where you had blue-collar jobs and farming jobs and warehouse jobs. We had these abundance of jobs that were for unskilled labor jobs out there. Now that automation has come, and really the money is not in blue-collar jobs or those baseline unskilled jobs. The money are in skilled jobs. So it's like you have people stuck in this poverty trap that Watchtower is having them in, that other religions don't even have. Other religions let their people go to college. A lot of religions encourage their people to go to college because they want those skill set to come back to the organization so they can use those skills, or that they can provide an influx of money and give to these organizations. That's why a lot of these churches are like, mega churches. You see these big, huge mega churches, and you see these endowments and these organizations that are giving to churches and like that. And I know Jehovah's Witnesses don't take that route, and that's a good thing. But there's something that has to give. You can't expect people to pretty much give everything to the organization and live like a middle class or lower middle class lifestyle, but then they supposed to have extra money to give to you, and then they supposed to take care of their family too. So either you're gonna have a bunch of single people who are not getting married, who are not having children, because if you got married, you got kids, and even with 2-parent income, it's still expensive to have a house or an apartment and cars and raising children. That's expensive. So either way, you're stuck in such a situation that is like where the organization's guilt tripping you for not doing enough and giving enough, but then you can't really do anything to really give enough or do enough or earn enough to give to the organization. So you're, like I said, you're stuck in a poverty trap, and it's not fair. So I told, my suggestion is the organization's gonna have to new light that shit. They're gonna new light. It's like child abuse. So I said new light that shit, new light it. Because organizations like say, man, Jehovah need his money. Jehovah need his bread. Get that bread. I said, get that paper. But then you don't have no paper. You can't get blood from a turnip. So they gonna have to new light and be like, you know what? Jehovah has told us we've got some new light today, brothers and sisters, and it's okay for you to go to college because Jehovah wants to see you successful. See, they can do that. See, I did that. See, they can do that. Or my other suggestion is there's so many people online having classes and things about how to make extra money. They can do that. They can have a class, an online class, cheap. They have enough brothers and people available where they teach people how to make side money, how to side hustle. There are people out there, they're charging like $300 telling people how to do print on demand, how to do drop shipping, how to do all this stuff. You want your people to give more money and make more money, then how about you help them? How about you create a class and try to give them some suggestions or help them get their business off the ground so they can make more money, right? Shouldn't the organization be there to help people? Because it doesn't really help people. I mean, they talk about disaster and earthquakes and stuff like that. Yes, the Jehovah's Witnesses, they, in theory, go out there. I don't know, I've heard some dubious things. You know, the UN is out there giving money, and Jehovah's Witnesses apparently are out there helping too, supposedly, in theory. Okay. But the point is that when people need life skills or help in that way, the Watchtower Bible Tract Society are not like other organizations and other churches that try to help their people with their credit, or have classes for businesses, or have classes where they have people come in and talk about, running your finances. All of that stuff will add to the organization. The more people can get their money right in the organization, in the long run, it'll pay off because you'll have people helping the more organization. But again, I'm not trying to give them no pointers and try to keep people in they raggedy ass organization. I'm not trying to do that. I'm just trying to say that logically it makes no sense that an organization that's so backwards, that people are still following this organization and they're so entrenched in doing things the way they've always done it, and there's no new ideas coming from this governing body that I've seen so far, and there's no new ideas from the previous governing body. They're like, we still gonna keep doing the same thing we got to do, and the things that they're doing is not even biblical. It's not even in the Bible. It's just the way they've always done things, and so they stuck in that rut of their old ways. And so that's why a lot of young people are disaffected and leaving in droves, because people are finding that like, it doesn't have to be this way. There's a better way to do things. You can still believe in God and not be a witness. You can still believe in the Bible and not be a witness. Like I if that's what passage you choose, then choose it. But you don't have to feel like you're trapped and you stressed out and you guilt tripped, to where poverty is some sense of lone nobility. I'm noble and I'm poor as hell. I mean, no, poverty and I said it again. Watchtower is not the only religion that does this. They're not the only ones. So I'm not trying to, but I have to go by what I know. I know a little bit about other religions, but because I was in the witnesses, I was in it. So I know how the culture goes. But the college shit, that's a witness. The college thing, that's witness. I don't know any evangelicals or any Mormons, Unitarians that are telling their people not to go to school and go to college. That's crazy. I mean, the Mormons got a whole damn college. They want their people to be educated. They want their people to make money, so they can bring it back. So they can bring those skills and bring that money back. Witnesses only do that. Like, the only religion I know that teaches, Muslims don't even teach that. They pride in education. So I said, if they're going to keep having these backwards thinking, these ass backward ways, let them fall. Let them, they fall. If they die, they die. They break. If y'all know what movie it is, what was that from Rocky? If he dies, he dies. That's what he said. I like the Rocky movies. Anyway, but that's all I got to say. That's all I got to say today. Like I said, like, share, subscribe. Comment below if you agree or disagree or don't like what I said or how I said it or whatever it may be, whatever. Anyway, I ain't offended. I don't get in my feelings. I don't get hurt. But anyway, y'all have a great evening. Y'all have a great day. And again, I tell people, I just want people to have choices. If you are unhappy with your life, if you feel like you are trapped in a situation that no matter what it is, religion, relationships, job, career, whatever it is, you have to change your mindset first, and then you can change your life. So it starts here. It starts between the eyes, between the ears. It starts here. Change your mind, you'll change your life. I promise. It's never been easy for me. I've had a lot of obstacles in my life. I've had to change my mindset. I'm still working on that to this day. Like, I'm not perfect. I still have to work on and get out of my negative thought patterns and try to really reason and use my thinking skills to be like, what options do I have? And always keep your options open. You never know what's going to happen to you today or tomorrow, but always keep your options open, and always try to understand that, like, your life is not meant to be miserable or joyless or to suffer. Yes, there's shit happens every day to people that they cannot control. They have nothing to do with anything. It wasn't their fault. But you have to either get some psychological help to fight through it, or if you don't have access to any kind of mental health, you can do self-help online, reputable self-help sources, or you could just try to reason with yourself and get through it, and try to realize and try to keep your options open, and try to make moves in your life to make sure that you have options. As always have options. Don't ever feel trapped. So anyway, that's it. That's Kiki.